Hi, Algebra 1 class. I am going to be out today and for the next few days, so I just wanted to give you a little info in this video about how to do this next assignment here. There's a few words that you might not recognize. We've been working with them, but you just might not know them. So the first is a mapping. So in this assignment, you're utilizing your skills of plotting points, of identifying functions, and one of the ways they're going to ask you to represent a function is with what's called a mapping. And that's essentially the two bubbles, and we draw arrows from one to the other to make a connection. So the left bubble is my domain, and the right bubble is my range, okay? So if I give you a list of points, let's say, here's my set, 0, 5, 6, oops, that ran together, sorry, 6, -2, 4, 3, and 6, 1. All right. If I want to put this into a mapping, we need to separate out the x values from the y values, the domain values from the range values. So the x values are the first ones in our point, remember. And with a mapping, if those numbers show up more than once, we don't have to repeat them. So I'm just going to write them 0, 6, and 4. You can certainly put them in numerical order if you'd like to. It's not wrong if you don't do that. My brain likes it to be in order. So 0, 4, and 6. And then the y values are going to go in the range bubble. And so those values are -2, 1, 3, and 5. Okay? Now I need to show that there's a connection between certain x values and y values. So from the 0, I'm first going to draw an arrow to 5 because of this point 0, 5. Right? Then I'm going to go to the next point, 6, -2, and draw an arrow there. And then 4, 3, and then 6, 1. Okay? So part of this is determining whether or not this is a function. And right here, I can see that 6 is a domain value that's getting used more than once. It has more than one y value associated with it. And this is not a function. Okay? And these two bubbles here are called my mapping. You might also see it represented as a table of values. So you could do that. The left side, again, is the domain. The right side is the range. And in this case, you're going to list the values in order that the points show up. So 0, 5, 6, -2, 4, 3, 6, and 1. Okay? All of these are representing the same thing. They're just three different ways to show the relation. In this case, it's just a relation, not a function, because 6 was being used twice, right? So I want you to open up Schoology. There should be a few paper copies in my room if you want them, or you can print them, but open up Schoology, and here you're looking through this 4.2 practice set. They're going to give you a table. In this first one, they're asking you to construct the mapping. So make one of those mapping diagrams. Make a graph that illustrates the connection. So if you look at the points that were given, the drink sizes, those are all positive, and the prices are all positive, okay? And if this is my domain, this is going to go along the x-axis, right? And if this is my range, that's going to go along the y-axis. So I don't need any negative parts of my graph. So when I do this, I could say, okay, well, that right there can be the x-axis, and this could be the y-axis. And we said the bottom was drink size in ounces. So you always want to label your axes. And the right side is price. Or not right side, sorry, the y-axis is price. And then look at your numbers, right? So with the drink size, you have to get up to at least a value of 48. And later, there's questions that are going to ask us about a 64-ounce cup. So you might even want to get to 64, but there aren't 64 boxes all the way across, right? So you are going to have to count by something a little bit bigger, and you can decide what that is. Maybe 3s, maybe 5s, maybe 4s, something that gets you up to maybe 64, okay? And then the price, you go from 99 cents to $1.89. So you want to count by something that gets you up to at least $2. So I would really spread out the cents there on your graph, right? If the top part has to be at about 2, you could maybe count by 20 cents or something like that. So even smaller. Really think about what you want to graph that as and label that. And then read through the other questions, answer the questions. They're giving you different representations of relations, and you're trying to decide whether or not they're functions, okay? Submit that to Schoology when you're done. So your job today is to do the 4.2 practice set, and you will get a point for doing this. There's no Alex for this section. Complete and turn in your super corrections. With the super corrections, you, if you want me to grade them soon, I need you to submit them to Schoology with a picture of your original quiz. Okay, so it might be a lot of pictures you have to take. And then if you haven't finished 4.1 Alex or practice set, please finish that and turn those in. Alright. If you need help, Mrs. Messer has a math-directed study. She's at the end of the hall in room 212 this morning, and she could certainly answer any of your questions. Alright. And feel free to email me if you need help. Thanks. Have a great day.